Hi everybody, Douglas E. Welch with a channel, blog, website, life update on everything that I have been doing and everything we're going to be doing in the next couple months here. This is going to be a longer video than usual. I usually do these nice short videos, but this is going to go into a lot of detail, so feel free to delve in and out as you please. First of all, as you may or may not know, I'm reducing the amount of time I'm spending doing computer work, day-to-day computer support and stuff like that, and I'm dedicating myself more to new media consulting, helping people get their YouTube channels, their blogs, their websites up to snuff in this social media aware days. And also, I'm putting a lot more energy into my blogs and my podcast and my YouTube channel myself. You've probably noticed this if you're subscribed to the channel, you're subscribed to any of the podcasts or any of the blogs, you'll notice there's a lot more volume happening out there right now. So just to work through the week, I'm sort of trying to set a schedule here. It's a little fluid at the moment, but the way the schedule is working out right now is to start on Mondays. That's when the new Career Opportunities podcast comes out each week. Try to hit the Monday, sometimes don't always make it, but Monday is hopefully the release day for each new Career Opportunities podcast release. I also do, on the gardening blog, we highlight an interesting plant. And we also, at the first of the month, I release the gardening wallpapers you've been seeing over the last few months, where I take a photo that I really like, and I make wallpapers for your computer, your iPhone, your tablet, whatever. On Tuesdays, we have garden vocabulary on the gardening blog, on a gardener's notebook, and we also have recipes in rotation. Part of the new food programming that I'm putting together. Since I've been part of Bake Space TV's Kitchen Party as a co-host there, I've been focusing on food a lot more, and you've probably noticed that too. So Recipes in Rotation is a collection of recipes that we use nearly every month, if not more frequently here in the house, and I'm sharing those with everyone via the blog and the YouTube channel as well. On Wednesdays, we have In the Garden. This is my 4 to 5 to 6 minute review of what's happening in my garden. Right now we've got some potatoes coming up. We have some trees that are starting to come back into season. Our bulbs are up. We had our first daffodils this week. So that type of video is what you're going to get from In the Garden. It's also a day for a blog we haven't talked about much, and that's Technology IQ. Technology IQ was follow for a long time. I really wasn't doing much with it, kind of the ugly stepchild of my blogs, but lately I've been invigorating it and putting a lot more content there. On Wednesdays we're doing On My iPhone/Android, where I highlight an app that I use every single day. It's on my iPhone, it's on my Android phone, also for your Android tablets and iPads and such things like that. It's my hope that by showing you some of these applications that I'm using, you'll be able to have a little more productivity in your own life. On Thursday, we have Garden History, where I'm pulling from the Flickr Commons collection of photos from institutions all over America and the world of historical photographs. There is a ton of gardening content in there, and I'm just loving rooting around in it and finding some great pictures and some great concepts to share with you on the blog. On the New Media blog, Careers in New Media, we have New Media Vocabulary. It's sort of learning along with you. I'm taking the time to kind of delve back into some of these new media terms that we sometimes toss around without really knowing what they mean. And through my own learning, I hope to educate you as well. Finally, on Thursdays, we have on Technology IQ on my Mac. Very similar to the On My iPhone series, except it focuses on a program that I either have on my Mac or is also available for your Windows PC. Again, sharing my favorite programs with you, hopefully that you can use them in your own life. On Fridays, we have the Career Opportunities Archive. This is where I'm pulling from my archives of over, what are we up to, 13 years of columns, I think, right now. We're in the year 2006 currently in the archives that I'm just working my way through, pulling out any podcast and column that's still evergreen, that still has some application to today's world. So stay tuned for those. If you're subscribed to the podcast, you'll receive each of those shows automatically, just like the main Career Opportunities podcast and column that you see each Monday. On Friday, too, I'm also very happy with this new series I've been doing called Subscribed. Like the On My iPhone, like the On My Mac, subscribed is an introduction to all the different blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to. These are the channels that I watch each and every day, each and every week. And again, I find some really great content out there that I really enjoy, and I like to sometimes prove to the naysayers about new media that there is great content available there. It's not all just roller skating dogs and cat videos. There is some really good content out there on the scientific side, on the new media side, and just plain entertaining video. I watch a lot of gaming let's players, they call them right now. These are people who do playthroughs of various games on the YouTube channel. I've been watching a lot of those lately. But I'm also watching food and science and other gardeners and just a host of other programming that's available out there on YouTube, on podcasts, and on the blogs. Finally, on Saturday, to round out the week there, we're coming up in the weekend. On Saturday, we do garden inventory. This is where I'm working through every plant in my garden. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I just haven't taken the time. Well, now with the increased focus on the blogs and the podcast, this presented a perfect reason to do a series. Today, I just posted one today, and in fact today was black pines. I have several of them on the property. I treat them in a very special way. There's even some related video that I shot back in October to go along with that. But each week you'll see a new plant highlighted in that exists in my garden. Along with it, I share links to other information on the internet about that plant. I also share links to books about that plant or that type of plant. And you'll also find links to all the other past posts or videos or whatever on in the Garden Inventory series on each post. So check it out if you haven't seen that. And also on Saturday, new food. My wife has often complained at me. I pin, I share, I post a lot of recipes, a lot of different foods and everything, and yet I don't quite make as much of them as I should. So new food is my excuse to every week try out some new food, some new recipe that I found on the internet, whether I've pinned it on Pinterest or on Google Plus or on Twitter or whatever. I keep a collection of all of those items, and I just look through them each week and say, hey, we're making this for dinner tonight. I'm making this cake. I'm making this cookie every single week. Today, I just posted a new one today, which is making your own homemade sparkling fruit juice. I mean, who needs Martinelli's, to quote one of the famous brand names? Who needs that when you can make your own blends of juices, carbonate them naturally using yeast and fruit juice, and that's it. Who could ask for anything more? On Sunday, to end the week, I do a container garden update. This is another gardening video focusing on the containers in my garden. I currently have 5 of them now, and we're trying to grow more food in the garden. So we have lettuce, we have kale, we have strawberries that are actually fruiting right now. We have basil and peppermint and a couple other herbs, and we're just trying out all sorts of things in these containers. The reason being, I can move the containers into areas of the garden where there is actually full sun. With all the mature trees we have here, it's hard to find full sun places in the garden, so the containers make it a lot easier to kind of move things around when I need to and give the food plants more sunlight when they need it. On Sunday, I also do new media gear. Here's where I talk to my fellow podcasters, my fellow YouTubers, my fellow bloggers, and say, what technology are you using out there? And I highlight whatever they're using, maybe get some comments from them about why they use it, and then there'll be links to websites about the equipment, also Amazon links on the equipment, so you can go and check out what people are saying about it in their reviews and perhaps even buy it if you like. Also on Sunday, we do job listings from Tuesdays with Transitioners. This is a local group sponsored by a friend of mine, Jennifer Oliver O'Connell. It meets twice a month here in Los Angeles. She does a great job of collecting up job listings every single week. So it sort of ties in with the Career Opportunities blog and podcast. In fact, that's where it gets posted, is on the Career Opportunities blog. I'll actually be speaking to Tuesdays with Transitioners on Tuesday, February 18th about a year of self-preservation. And this will be a live presentation sort of based around the column which I wrote back at the beginning of the year, giving a theme to the year, which is a year of self-preservation. Of course, I'll record that. I'll get that up as a podcast, also on the YouTube channel for you, so that you can watch it even if you're not here in Los Angeles. that's it for the week. That's pretty much what I have planned and scheduled for my week. I'm adding new series all the time as I start to really dedicate more time to the blog, so you'll see new things pop up. You'll see some trial balloons get floated, or I'll try a post, and maybe it will go somewhere, maybe it won't, so don't be surprised if you see some of that as well. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for your support, your subscriptions, your likes on YouTube, your subscriptions to the podcast directly through the iTunes podcast directly, your subscriptions to the mailing list, your following me on Twitter and Google Plus and Facebook and Pinterest, and all of those is a great support to me. It helps spread the word about what I do. And honestly, it makes me feel really good that I can be doing something for you. I can be providing content to you that is actually useful to you, if not fun to watch. I often say about my gardening podcast that, come see me mess up in my garden, so hopefully you get a little bit of entertainment out of that as well. One way you can continue to support me, by the way, is send me your feedback. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you want to hear. Ask especially questions you'd like me to address in a future podcast, whether it's about careers, gardening, food, technology, new media, whatever. I'd love to hear back from you. Sometimes we podcasters can feel a little bit lonely because we send a lot of information out, but we don't often get a lot of comments back in. And so anything we get back in is greatly appreciated. Finally, if you can check out my books, my Kindle ebooks, they're all available on Amazon.com. They do not require a Kindle to read them. You can buy Kindle books and read them at the very easiest part right in your web browser. You can also download the free Kindle software to read them. Or, of course, you can read them on your iPhone, your iPad, or your Kindle device if you happen to have one. I try to price them reasonably. They're relatively short because they focus on very specific areas. If you haven't checked them out, please do. You can get a free sample of each of the books. It's basically, in most cases, the entire introduction of the book. And you can check those out. And the 5 books I have out there right now are The High-Tech Career Handbook, which is a collection of my columns up to the year 2003. And yes, I am working on a 2003 to 2012 collection of career opportunities columns. That's just a long process. It's about 50,000 words that I'm editing right now, so it's going to take me a little while to get through that. So, The High-Tech Career Handbook, Career Compass, Finding Your Career North, which is about how to find the work you want to do. As I see in Career Opportunities every week, how to build the career you deserve. This is a way to find your path through your career. Whether you're just starting out now or whether you've been working for a long time, sometimes we can all get lost on our journey. Third book is Cultivating Your Career Reputations. This is all about 12 to 15 basic reputations with a small r that make up your overall reputation, which I call reputation with a large R, your reputation as a worker, as an entrepreneur, as a person. And it delves into each one in the reputation for fairness, a reputation for honesty, a reputation for problem solving, a reputation for dealing with change. All of these are very important, and they all combine together. So you'll find all of those in Cultivating Your Career Reputations. Social Media Self-Preservation. This is the first book I wrote on self-preservation dedicated specifically to social media. I deal with a lot of people who have trouble getting into social media. Maybe they're older, maybe they haven't really explored it much before, and it scares them. They're afraid of being overwhelmed. And so social media self-preservation is all about how to get the most value from your social media dealings as possible. Because in reality, all the things you do on social media need to have value to you. Every person you follow, every page you follow, every blog you subscribe to, every podcast you subscribe to, every YouTube channel you look at needs to have value to you. If it doesn't, you need to consider turning it off and finding something that does. There's also an audiobook of social media self-preservation available too, and you'll find links to all of these on the main page of the website at douglasewelch.com. Finally, my most recent book is From a Gardener's Notebook, and this is a collection of my gardening essays that I've written for the blog over the last 10 to 12 years. I went through and found what I consider to be my best essays. It also has gardening tips. It has a little bit of artwork from me as well. I am really proud of that book. I'm looking to do even more gardening books like this. I come at gardening from a philosophical standpoint rather than the hardcore this is how you plant this, and this is how you grow this, and this is how you transplant this. I see gardening as a part of my life rather than just techniques to apply. So From a Gardener's Notebook really talks about gardening in that way. I want to thank you all again for joining me for this channel update. I'm going to come to you probably about once a month or as needs dictate to fill you in on what's happening on the blogs, the podcast, and here on the YouTube channel. I want to thank you again for subscribing, for liking, for joining the mailing list, everything I listed before. It really is appreciated, and it really does help. When you click the like button on a YouTube video, it directly affects how many other people will be suggested my videos in their suggested videos along the side. So it's always a great help. I want you to understand that it does have a direct effect. Also watching the ads, clicking on the ads, that all has an effect, and it all helps me, and it helps me in my transition out of the day-to-day computer troubleshooting work, what I call the under-the-desk work, where I'm down fiddling with cables and plugging stuff in, and brings my work kind of above the desk, where I'm sitting at my computer, I'm speaking to people, I'm consulting about new media and podcasting and YouTube and stuff like that. It really helps me. I am getting older. As part of my health issues, which you may or may not know about back in last October that I had, I'm fine now. I'm actually much healthier now than I was. But that was certainly a wake-up call. In a week, I'm going to be turning 49. 50, the big 50 is approaching quickly, and so I decided to put into place some plans that I had been planning for next year. I'm getting started on them now, and I hope you'll join me for the journey. Again, thank you very much. You can find out everything about all the podcasts, all the channels, all the blogs, whatever, on the main website, douglasewelch.com. You'll find links to all the books, the blogs, you'll see the recent videos, and ways of contacting me. Again, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again. Have a great week, have a great month, and we'll see you next month.